Peace, peace, peace. Just wanted to touch base on today's setup opportunity. I wasn't able to take advantage of it. I was away from the charts, dealing with some personal stuff. And but had I been in front of the charts or at least prepared for it today, I would have taken this trade. It is one of the first trade setups that is taught in the mentorship. Um, if you threw on the indicators, you would see it clear as day. But we can even look at it from a price action perspective, just applying some basic market structure, dealer flow, logic, and supply demand. Okay, with some, of course, all based on price action. Okay, so this was the trade setup that I showed everybody yesterday in the 20-minute video. I'll try to keep this one as short as possible. Was able to pick up some gains there, and then another account yesterday, I faded the low and took it long. Uh, Picked up two positions at 1 to 1.5, so for a total of 3R gain on the initial move, and then put a runner on to let it run for the rest of the day and ended up closing out here. So had a pretty nice day altogether yesterday off of this setup. In the process of that taking place, they created a significant higher time frame volume imbalance. All right. So when there's a specific parameter you need to look for, but when they create that imbalance like that, you're looking for the next day for price to continue long. All right, away from the imbalance. And so the logic was I'd be coming into today looking for the dealer to do a false move or stop hunt to the downside to pick up some additional liquidity before they continued their move long. And that's exactly what happened today. All right, so we're going to talk about some price action based conditions you can look for where you could have taken advantage of this trade setup today and let the money come to you. That's the most important thing. All right, so just on the 1 hour alone, I can see a potential area of interest. Okay, so I'm looking at the origin of this leg right here, just like this right here was the origin of this leg overall. Okay, so if I drew that out, it would look something like this. All right, that leg right there, then we get a higher low and a continuation long, okay, into the high of Asia. All right, so what I'll be looking for is I'll be looking for price to come back down into one of these areas created by the volume imbalance. Okay, so I would be looking for something like, let's say hypothetically none of today existed. Even at the close of yesterday's session, I would be looking for some type of stop hunt low or some type of stop hunt low here, and then some type of rise today. Okay, so something like this or something like that, and then a push to the upside. All right. So as far as me drawing stuff on my chart and looking for areas of opportunities, it would have been, this has kind of been mitigated already. All right, so I would have kind of fell back off that one and proceeded to look down here for opportunity, but that's on the higher time frame. Okay, I want to go to my lower time frames and see if there's something there that I can lean on that would help me refine more areas of interest. And before I do that, I want to take a look at the daily and see what's going on here. I already knew this, so I didn't really start here, but we've been in a range condition for a few weeks on the daily time frame. So there's no real daily high volume area I can lean on right now. So that's why I started with the 1 hour. Okay. And the first thing I noticed on the 1 hour was the imbalance. Okay. So that imbalance means I'm looking for a stop hunt low back into a key area, some area of interest, some high volume area, and then a continuation long. All right. So let me check the 15 minutes, see what we got here. All right, so that's the imbalance down here, but remember, this is the origin of that leg, so I'm gonna potentially look for an area of demand here, some type of high volume area at this origin, all right, some type of demand zone and imbalance. Can't really see anything on the 15-minute, any clarity, so I'm gonna drop down to the 5-minute, okay. All right, so here I do see an area of demand that I can mark off, but I don't see an imbalance here. The imbalance that was over here has already been mitigated. So I want to drop down a little bit more. And we're talking about significant mitigation. Sometimes you get a spike into an area and that can be classified as mitigation, but it doesn't have to be the only time price can spike into an imbalance area to mitigate. You can get multiple spikes into it. You just have to do your homework to see what configuration of conditions leads to success the most times. So I'm down on the 1 now, and here we are. All right, I can refine my demand zone. Okay, you can do the wick to wick or body. The body of the candle is kind of really irrelevant. Well, it's up to your system what you like. I interchange both. All right, so we're gonna stretch this out to today. All right, so that is my demand zone, and I can immediately see an overlap in my demand zone and a price imbalance. All right, so now I'm getting interested if I'm stalking this for the day. Okay, let's stretch this out. My bad. All right, so I have an imbalance area and I have a supply area. Okay, so price has already started to mitigate this imbalance here. You can see these spikes dipping into this particular band of liquidity. Okay, but we have not dealt with our demand zone. Okay, but either way, remember we're looking at this for Thursday. All of this price action that you see right here was the end of Wednesday, the end of New York. Okay, so I'm stretching this out into the next day, looking for opportunity for the next day. We do have some mitigation, but we didn't deal with our demand zone. So this is still active to me. And ideally, I want to see something near the overlap of the two. Okay. All right. So we're going to jump back to the 5 for a second. All right. And talk about today's activity. So we had open of Thursday through Sydney and Tokyo. All right, that set the Asian range for the day. We got the high, the midpoint, and the low. All right. So ideally, I would like to see price, since I'm looking for a long trade, I want to see price break near the low of Asia, and I want to see the dealer push price near the low of Asia and start to perform his magic, right? The dealer manipulation, right? So ideally, through most months of the year, I want to see that take place at the Frankfurt and London Open. Okay, that's ideally what I want to see. So even with all of this stuff, I'm not even really interested in it until price comes to deal with my areas of interest. Okay, and as you can see, price range within the confines of the Asia range and high and low all the way until we got over here, and we can draw a line here just for reference. Okay. So this is the Asia low extended over. Okay, so price started to push and break below the Asia low. But on the 15-minute time frame, I'm not seeing the price action clarity that I would like to see. Okay, so remember, I refined this price imbalance and this demand zone off of the 1 minute. So I'm going to start breaking my way down to the 1 minute to look for clear dealer flow and dealer manipulation price action that would let me get into a trade opportunity. Okay. Let's go down to the 1 minute. And here we are. Okay, so remember this yellow line is the low of Asia. Right here we have our initial break below Asia. So now I'm interested, but we still have not dealt with my areas of interest down here. Okay, they stopped hunt to the downside and went long. Now this is a potential entry opportunity. Like straight up, like I would have looked for this type of price action, and we got a pin bar. This was an entry opportunity. But what did the dealer do? Instead of shooting off from that particular point, the dealer instead did a board clearing move to clear all of this liquidity out down through here, right? And to deal with the price imbalance. So as you can see, price spiked directly to the overlap of my demand zone and this price imbalance. Okay, with the overlap being the most important feature. Okay, there's different types of points of control that can overlap each other, and that's added confirmation. Now, another thing I want to mention is price. Price is very important, so I like to see price or the dealers perform their manipulation through key price figures, the 50 figures and the 00 figures. So when we talk about that, we're talking about this. All right. You see this 00? If it was a 50, I would be interested as well. So there's a 50 figure all the way up here. 350. Okay, but down here is where we saw the 00 figure, and it just so happened to occur just near the trap or the areas of interest that I was looking for in the dealer's manipulation, performing that trap move. Okay, and we have a bullish hammer. This is your entry candle opportunity, right? Trapping off of the 00 figure after it has dealt with the imbalance and demand zone right here. So this was the ideal entry opportunity. Okay, and as you can see, it's a clear double bottom. All right, they even gave you further entry opportunities coming back to this zone here, right? You can use this, you can stretch it all the way across here. All right, it's all the same thing. And they gave you mitigation back into the imbalance that was right here. Okay, but if we measure out what the opportunity presented, we're looking at a 5 pip stop loss with a potential 55 pip take profit. So that would have been a 1 to 11 risk reward. So you picked up 11R on that trade. That means that if you risk 1% on that trade, you'd have picked up 11% on your account. So if you had a $10,000 account, you'd have made $1,100 on this one move. Now, that's if you took it all the way into the New York Open. But more than likely, the trade would have been taken into this area right here for a 40 pip gain. So 5 pip stop loss, 40 pip take profit. You know, you're still looking at a 8 to 1, right? A 1 to 8, right? So you still picked up 8% on that particular move at a 1% risk. Okay, 2% risk, that was 16% for the day. All right, so that's what I would have been looking at. Now, for all of my members who like to use their indicators to help them guide and visualize things, which is completely okay. Don't never let anybody tell you that indicators that make you money are a bad thing. All right, anything in this market that makes you money is a great thing. Don't ever let anybody tell you anything different. Okay. Okay. We could have kept this on here. Yeah. And there we have it. So if we go to our 1 hour time frame, all of my old school people who've been around for a while, you can see the imbalance. First trap off the 50 EMA, we long to the upside. You drop to the 15-minute, you can see the clear double bottom, right? Off of the moving average, trapping through the 00, dealing with the supply, the demand zone and the imbalance all at the same time. Continuation to the upside. Beautiful trade day today. All right. So I'll document these in real time moving forward. And yeah, just wanted to walk through a trade setup today. This is the first trade setup you would learn in the mentorship. And shout out to all the members. Just got great news today that somebody was able to leave their government careers and go full-time trading. And so big salute to that member, right? A lot of success stories. They just quiet. Anyway, peace.